But let's get on what we've been talking about for the past 2 weeks, where you've been coming out here with all this slander, everything else, man. Like you won't pick a side. You're acting like the hip hop Switzerland over here. Well, they both do. Nah, man. We about to talk about the Drake and the Kanye, and we're gonna get down into it.
All right, man. So, I mean, where you want to start with the drama beforehand, dropping on the same day?
We got to start from the beginning. Let's go ahead.
Yeah,
let's start with the early
intrigue.
drama. Let's get people caught up, and then we'll go into each album as they release. So Kanye will be up first, and then we'll go into the Drake.
Yeah, so, the threats, the who's going to drop first, us in the middle of it as fans, like, yo, just somebody drop it. The multiple stadium tours, however you feel about it. We've talked about it here to where we were like, all right, cool. We see it's different. We like the presentation as far as Kanye, but at the end of the day, I just want the finished product. You know what I mean? That's all I really wanted at the end of the day. So we got the music last week, but then there was a lot of shit that came with that on Kanye's side. Chris Brown was cussing them out. They've now made up apparently on social media. Soulja Boy still going in, and it's a bunch of other people that didn't quite make the album the way the way they thought they were going to make the album. Then we had the people talking about it being a marketing ploy and all these different type of things, and Kanye's manager. Kanye manager.
It's definitely a marketing ploy. Look at the way he released it and the way he was going out there. He made millions just off of the release parties at these stadiums each and every time. Think about how much money he was making everybody coming out there. And I think that was the reason for the delays. It was just like, oh, we made this much money. Let's see how much money we can make at the next one.
For sure.
And we'll say we clean this up, and then now we'll get somebody else. Like, we got more money. Let's see if we can get how much money can I throw at Jay-Z before he say, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, never gonna knock him for that.
Nah.
Was it the most interesting thing for me? Would I have gone? Absolutely. I would have gone if I was nearby. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Hell no.
Because that's something different. That's something different. I would have wanted to see it, especially if the album was coming out soon. But knowing Kanye like we know Kanye, it took three chances.
I would be nervous that I'm gonna get out there. Like, I paid my money, and we'll get the show I picked to go. We'll get the Kanye rant instead of the music, and that would just piss me off even more. So that would have held me back personally from going. Just the fear of that. I have the capability of getting that. I'm only going to go to a Kanye concert where if they have a Watch the Throne again. If they have a Watch the Throne again, I go. Somebody got to keep him on task. I'm not going to go to where Kanye is the whole show. Nah, you just showed me.
Yep. Then we also have Kanye's manager who kind of put it out there that, as long as there's no disses from Certified Loverboy, there won't be no disses over here. Everything is all good. And then Certified Loverboy dropped. Very direct. Talking to Kanye. And then the leak verse was said. The leak verse came too as well with Andre 3000.
Oh, so you trying to say that was Drake?
I don't know who it was. I'm not there. You know what I mean? But
no, I'm saying no accusations, man.
That's what's out there. That's what's out there in the streets. I don't know. Nevertheless, it's out there. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, Ye pulled back. I'm not sure why.
Why in the world do you think he pulled back off that? Why wouldn't you have 3 stacks on your album?
I wouldn't even. I would have just wrote another verse. Honestly, like that was one of the better verses. That would have probably been one of the verses of the year had he laid that down. And then why? Like, my thing is, like, why would you put a diss song on a song about, talking about your moms? Like, the content that 3 Stacks was talking about and what Ye was talking about wasn't the same thing. So it kind of was, and 3 Stacks put out a statement too as well. So that's why I could kind of understand where Drake be coming from with the weird shit that goes on in Kanye's camp, because that's awkward, man. It's just an awkward thing. Even though the song fire, like, you gotta at least admit that.
3 Stacks versus fire. The production is fire. Go ahead.
Oh my God. See, Here we go. Let's get right to it. Because he's already sticking to it.
Now
narrative.
the Kanye comes out.
He's sticking to the narrative.
So we done made it to it.
We made it to it. Because you going to the narrative right already. He won't even give Kanye his credit for a dope
I'm gonna
Lucy.
give the rap Bono his credit. The dude know how to set a momentous stage and epic sound. That production of it was great. I'm gonna give
it to us. How you feel about
Paul McCartney's? The way he can get all these people together and get make a unique little sound and push it out. That's good. But
is that a diss though?
I'm not listening to neither one of them type of music. They do shit that wins Billboards awards and all that little stuff. But does that shit sound good to me? Hell no.
What specifically didn't sound good to you? What didn't sound good to you?
His new gospel Kurt Franklin sound. Like every song is God intertwined into everything, and like I get what you're gonna come at. Like, oh, now you're being the heathen. Da da da.
I ain't saying nothing.
I'm just saying there's ways about doing it, but he seems like the way he interjected into everything, it just didn't make sense to me. God gonna post my bail tonight. Like, bro, you sound like a crazy fucking person. It just don't sound like J verse sounded good on that. But if I'm listening and paying attention to what Kanye's saying, I'm like, this shit's stupid.
It's a few instances on this album the way I was like, I can't repeat this shit. Like I can't even. It's no singing response from me because he was like, hey, with an extra Y. Like I'm like, what? Like I forgot what song that was on, but like that was like it was terrible. It was almost like that. It was a song that Drake was talking about on The Shop when he was on The Shop a couple months ago or last year, where he was talking about. It was some song that Ye was looking to put him on, but it's just one of them weird songs. So where it's like, the old Ye would have never put this on an album. It would have never put this on an album, and there's several instances on this album to where it's like, all right, man, I'm off it. But overall, I like the shit. So, it's Ye being Ye, man. Like I wasn't mad about the gospel part. I wasn't mad about any of that because at the end of the day, here's my thing.
Some of the stuff just didn't intertwine to me. It just didn't make sense.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing with the people
rapping about, and then you want to go interject God or something else like spiritual into it. I'm like, you got the wrong people on the track. Like if you try to do that,
everybody was talking about that though. Like for the most part, I say about 85% of the verses on there, the people were talking about it in their own way, and that's where I like that. You know what I mean? Because everybody don't praise God the same way. Everybody doesn't talk to him. Don't have the same relationships.
So we getting there. You admitting it?
I don't feel like it's a gospel album.
In a spiritual sense.
I don't feel like it's a gospel album.
It's a gospel album.
I don't feel like it's a gospel album. This is not a gospel album at all.
Kurt Franklin about to copy this, and it's gonna be out as a new gospel album. And he about to copy the same style, and it's gonna be pushed out.
I just think it's the type of album to where people from all walks of life, if they're a believer in God, it's not traditional. And it's different. You know what I mean? It's creating something different. The same way I feel like when I was listening to 808s and Heartbreak back in the day, that shifted the sound dramatically. Was T-Pain already doing that? Absolutely. But Ye came in and upped the ante, in my opinion, with the help of Kid Cudi. Now, I don't want to leave Kid Cudi out of this.
I'm about to say, Ye didn't do too much on that. Ye just provided the vocals. That was Cudi's sound.
And the production that you glossed over earlier. I heard the Paul McCartney shit. I heard that. I heard that. I just let it live. It glossed over. But what I'm saying is I wasn't so accepting of that at the time when other people were. You know what I mean? I wasn't accepting of it because I was used to, Ye doing his, hip hop, boom bap, soul sample. And he may step out and do the electronic thing every now and then, but I definitely wasn't expecting that. So I liken that to this, Donda. You know what I mean? He's going in one direction for the most part throughout the whole project, and it doesn't sound like anything that's out there rap wise. It doesn't. and you gotta give that up. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you like it.
It does sound like something like this. This whole record sounds just like that Kurt Franklin "We Win" track. It sounds like I got 800 of those on this album. So it is a sound out there for it, and it's gospel. It's this new age gospel that Kurt Franklin been doing for past 25 years. That's what this sounds like to me. Now the production is a tad bit higher. That part I'm giving you, but like the same list, the hymns and everything, like all that is just Kurt Franklin remixed on here. Bam.
Ain't shit about this Kurt Franklin. Ain't nothing about this album, Kurt
Go
Franklin.
listen
Like,
to "We Win," then go listen to any one of these damn songs.
Okay,
like
it got the same sounds. Now, when you talk about the same sounds, we could talk about that in hip hop all the time. You listen to the same.
No. You're trying to change the You're trying to change it.
If you listen to the same type of shit,
no.
The same type of sounds in hip hop.
Cash.
The same type of sounds in hip hop.
Hold up.
I'm walking you back. And again and again.
Your statement was that he's doing something totally different and this is not being heard of.
I didn't say totally different. I said he's doing something different. He's doing it more in a hip hop sense. This is raps. You got West Side Gun on here, you got the Locks on here, you got Jay-Z, you got the Baby. You don't have that on a gospel album. You don't have that on another gospel album. What gospel album got all these guys on there?
Well, not all these people, because he's using his fame to get all this, like his notoriety to grab all these guys in. Yeah, he's dragging them in. Like that's Ye's fame. They know they're gonna get that, bro. Like this album immediately sold because he got what somebody said, like this is the fastest selling album or listened to album since like an Eminem album. I was like, yes, he has those same fans. He has crossed over into that with his fashion, mixed in with who he was married to, mixed into the way his music has changed up over the years, where it hasn't been completely hip hop in that sense. It's been more of touching in those other realms or genres of music. What was the one that was just like a whole little rock influence? Yeezus.
Yeah, Yeezus. And a lot of people didn't like that.
He's been dragging in these the listeners, the new listeners and the weird listeners that we wouldn't necessarily put in a hip hop box for a while. And this is just the culmination of it all.
And that's my thing about some of the hip hop aficionados and people that stick to this hip hop thing so much, because at the end of the day, isn't the goal to become like one of the biggest selling artists? Like, we are already one of the biggest selling genres. So why, when somebody becomes popular and transcends music altogether, now we got to be like, oh, that's not hip hop enough. Let me put it back in this box, when you want hip hop to expand and go to be the best thing, you know, that we listen to, you know what I'm saying? Which is the biggest genre, right? But then when it expands in Ye's sense, there's a problem with it. Now, if the music's bad, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. If the music's bad,
I know why people would get upset, and this is why I would get upset. It's because the music industry is such copycat. So I don't want to go through the next 2 years of getting somebody of this being the way hip hop is heading into. Like this right here, nah. I'm fine with a one-off from Kanye, but I don't want this to become the trend of hip hop. It's okay. It's not great. And nobody's going to be able to do it like Kanye on the production side.
Oh, and I absolutely agree. Now let's before we lose everybody with our crazy opinions and tangents, let's stick to the album as far as Ye, and of course we're gonna get to Chris Breezy. We already got to that. Chris Breezy cussing him out, but of course we're gonna get to Certified Loverboy and the comparisons and the songs and the disses. We're gonna dig a little deeper into that. So, like, overall, how do you feel about the project? What don't you like? What do you like, and why?
Like I was saying, like getting into every song and he just trying to intertwine with the artists and stuff like this, the different artists that he had on there, just overindulgence of the gospel, you know what I mean, throwing God in there, and it just didn't fit sometimes in the song, but he would just sneak it in like up in there. I'm like, bro, like you're trying to force something. It's just like that ain't gonna work. Like I get where you're at in your space, but then if you're gonna do that, don't have this artist on the track because it's not making sense to me. They
Specific.
do the inspirational street songs where they talk about their struggles and stuff, but that's not the same as the way Ye is portraying the song. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying, but what songs in particular, you know, to where you was just like this like I know you mentioned Jail, God gonna post my bail tonight. I know you mentioned that song. So but what are like some of the
Jesus
other
Lord,
instances?
Jesus Lord, the both of them with the
Okay.
locks, and I mean you got Jay Electronica who
Oh wow.
damn near
Oh,
you listen to his other albums, it's all Muslim stuff. So like when you got Jesus Lord coming in the background, it kind of just throws me off.
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We
Wait a
got
minute.
hip hop Farrakhan on the track with Jesus Lord. It just throws me off, man.
But you wait a minute. So you wait a minute. So you like that whole Jay Electronica in Jay-Z project though? That came out last year, right?
Yeah.
That was heavily spiritual. The entire project was spiritual. And you not Muslim. You don't subscribe to that religion. Like,
No,
right?
no.
But you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They was talking about God the entire time.
Man, but then he had the other stuff intertwined in between.
What
he was really
stuff?
fitting.
That was strictly him and Jay going off on a tangent.
What?
Yes. Every verse they intertwine a bit of spirituality in there, man. Like every single verse on there, and you can't tell me you
all
didn't
I
hear
see
that.
is bars. Come on, bro.
You just like the rapping. You just like the rapping more on it. That's it, because it's the same type of spiritual journey that we both went on this Yeezy album, this Donda joint. It's the same thing.
Totally different.
It was just
but
done better.
That go one part up in there. Then he had the what song was that? I felt like he had two songs. I felt like, man, if Pop was alive, man, he would have killed these songs right here. Off the Grid.
Off the Grid was fire. Off the Grid was fire, and I must. This is not a hot take, but I'm really feeling like that 5-year-old foreign kid. He left Earth on that verse. Like it was just properly placed, breakdowns. That beat was fit for him. You know what I'm saying? And then Ye even came through and got off on that.
But I just felt like the whole time I'm like, man, this beat is dying for like a Pop verse.
Didn't he have Pop on his project?
No,
it's
Pop was on his project.
Yeah.
No, he was on Pop project with Pusha.
Yeah.
When Pusha called out Tyler, the creator. What Television? Yeah, that was a good one.
But yeah, man. But as far as
Jonah too, I think Jonah was another one. I think I'm thinking right. Yeah, Jonah was the one that was like another one that was like, man, like either one of these, man. If you had like a Pop verse, but hey, man, gone too soon. So
your man Cudi though is on here. How you feel about that Moon? I know you like Ye. I know you like the other Ye and Cudi project that came out a couple.
Yeah, but I'm be honest. Like this one, it was too slowed down. Too like it didn't grasp me. It didn't get me. And you know that's so now you're gonna get to a part down. Let's talk about something else I was upset about on this album.
See how he's sticking to the narrative, people, right?
I listened to Tidal, right? Real. I listened on Tidal. Correct?
Yeah.
So on I don't know how it is on Spotify and everything, but on Tidal, it just got Kanye West as the artist on every song. It don't tell me who else was featured with him, like the standard on everything else, right? I know you're going to say, oh, you could dig in the credits and find that out. I don't want to do that. So the way I listen to an album right off the jump, sometimes you done heard some things, but like if I listen to it just like I would back in the day when you used to go up there, you could sample a CD and listen to see if you want to buy it or whatever, right? When I first hear something, I want to see, okay, he got this artist on here. I like the name of this song. I want to jump to that one and go to it right off the back, right? I couldn't do that on this album because He had all the artists hidden. It was just like all Kanye West, and that kind of took me back. I was like, man, this is straight Kanye. No features on here. Then immediately you know that there's features on there, but they're all hidden. You got to actually listen at the whole album, and that kind of pissed me off because I was like, certain songs I want to get to right off the jump. So I figured I would have jumped straight to the J Electronica and the Kid Cudi and the Young Thug. Those would have been my first three.
What a fucking novel idea to make you listen to an entire album. That's crazy, right? Like when you think about
I'm gonna listen at the whole album.
That is so crazy.
I'm saying from the jump.
That is so crazy that they want you to listen to the album the way they intended for you to listen to it. No fanfare, no hoopla. Not worried about the features.
Why he gotta change it up?
Sit down,
why he gotta go outside the norm?
Rock out. Not listen to it on shuffle. Listen to it in the sequence it's intended to listen to.
I will
crazy.
Listen to it
That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
I gotta be boxed in. I can't think outside. I can't go approach something my way. I gotta approach it Kanye's way. That's crazy.
Every album is sequenced a certain type of way for you to listen to it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like you may not get a transition. The transition may be super smooth, but you'll never catch it because you listening to it on shuffle.
I know what I see on here, and I see an artist. I'm like,
and it's in the credits.
This supposed to be fine. And then if I go listen at that, and it's fine, I'm like, oh yeah, this album about to go. Then I go back and listen at the album.
But then, Press, Kanye,
how's that different?
Kanye has a history for. Okay, some people he don't give a lot of credit to as far as payments, and there's some shady history in the background. But if you make the album, if you make the album, you are typically in these credits. Which I looked in the credits. And I saw them, and then, it's the power of Google, bro. I Googled 10 seconds. Had everybody that was on the album.
Cash. I'm not Googling every damn thing. I want to. I woke up that morning. I want to listen to do
it. You didn't even think to do it. That's the problem. You didn't even think to do it.
Why do I have to do it for any other art?
Because you are a hip hop head. Go find this shit. Go dig in the crates. Do a little dig. Get your hands dirty.
I'm thinking for the casual listeners. They ain't got time.
You ain't casual. We not casual here. This is Prayers and Cash talking. This is not casual Prayers and Casual Cash. Come on, man.
Give the people the credit. Quit doing stuff outside the norm. You just put the names up there and let me enjoy the music how I want to enjoy the music.
Real talk though. On Donda, man, like I was highly impressed out the gate, man. This album was very different for me in terms I went into it with an open mind because I hadn't listened to, like, people send me clips and stuff like that of going around the stadium and whatnot, but I got a little playlist here.
Stage. Go ahead. Take the stage and you go ahead and you tell the people what you liked about it and go ahead.
Yeah, I like the jail song outside of the weak hook, but I like the beat and I also like Jay's verse. I like Ye's verse as well. Off the Grid, we already talked about that. Remote Control. We Young Thug on there. That's one of my jams. I know you like Young Thug as well. Pure Souls with Roddy Ricch. He was riding that beat pretty well. I like the overall song structure of that. Jesus Lord Part 2. Believe What I Say, Keep My Spirit Alive with Westside Gunn. Lord, I Need You. Like, so I can go on and on. Moon. Those are just some of the ones that stick out to me off of an hour and 58 minutes, 45-minute project. So those are just some of the joints that stick out to me. And I've gone back to this project quite often, not just because we were going to talk about it, just because I actually like it. You know what I mean? And hopefully, there's more than enough for me to take off there with this shit being 20 something tracks for me to like. The rest I don't have to ever listen to again.
Like
and there's some duds on here. There's some duds on here. Like,
what's the one with Young Thug?
Remote Control.
That one. Off the Grid, Jesus Lord, Part 1 and Part 2. And then I'm reserving my judgment on Jail because Jay said a line up there and he got us thinking because he said this the resurgence of what Watch the Throne. So now if we don't get a Watch the Throne, then this verse sucks to me. But if
but he also
2 years down the road we get a
Prez, he also dissed us too. He also dissed us because he was talking about think pieces. So as we was coming into this, I was like, shit, this might be considered a think piece. But damn it, Jay. He put me in a bind here. He put me in a bind with talking about it. But he was going off. But I also like Jail too, because baby smoked that shit. He smoked that shit. I ain't even gonna lie. So those are just some
Jail.
of my favorite joints off Donda, man. So
Like I said, the Jay-Z verse was good. The whole thing on the background just kept throwing me off. Just like Chicago Postman Bell. Like, oh man. Like
you remember it though, right? What he did?
I remember it just
You-
as you would. If a crazy person jumped up and said something stupid, you'd be like, "Bro, like, let me tell you what this dumbass said."
I can't argue it's a good hook. I can't argue with you on that. I can't argue with you on that, man.
I can argue it. I can just tell you, yeah. Anytime I do something, you're gonna see some meme or something like that coming across from there, like years later. Like, don't worry about it. God got my bail. Like that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. There's gonna be somebody getting arrested.
Yeah, that's already a caption somewhere. It's gonna happen. But speaking of captions, let's go to Certified Loverboy, because this man Drake has more than enough captions out here to last a lifetime on this project. So where do you want to start on Certified Loverboy, man? Because you had nothing but high praise for it. People, I'm before you even say something, Prez, people, Prez has put Drake in his top 3.